Hey everyone, it's Ken, Ray, Two Drunk Brothers Garage, Part 8 of Big Bertha series.
This series is going to go a little longer. We'll talk about that at the end of the video, probably on our outro. But today we're going to get the oil pan gasket back on. Paint the bottom of the engine. Well, we got it rotated upside down. Yep. And while Kenny's doing that, I'm going to start spray painting the frame rails and everything, just rattle canning them. And then we'll flip the engine over. Got some spark plugs today. Don't have plug wires, but we're going to pull the valve cover gaskets and the intake, because we got the valley pan that we're pretty sure is leaking. So we don't have a valley pan gasket. I can't find a valley pan gasket for this motor online.
Right. And it looks like there's silicone sealant on it, so we bought
we bought some silicone. We're just going to reseal it and put it back together. Hopefully it holds. Hopefully we'll have all these leaks taken care of in this motor. But here we go.
Yep.
Okay. Yesterday we got the seal in. We got the caps back on. We got those rubber rod cap ends back in there. Kenny's going to go ahead and clean up the gasket surface a little bit better on this. Get the gasket on there. Get the oil pan back on. Scrape up, clean up a little.
Oil pan first, but
yeah, we got to clean the oil pan, of course.
Gonna scrape and clean that up a little bit more,
and then just hit it with some of that red paint we got.
Yep.
And then everything in here should be dry, so I'm just going to get in here. We bought some black paint primer, so I'm just going to do from there down. And I think we decided we're not going to touch the firewall.
We kind of like
we think it's the original color, so we're going to do it. That is black paint over there, but we're just going to leave it.
Because the red paint we do have
probably won't
match that.
Yep. I might do a little masking off on this and spray paint some of this black. I don't know. We'll see how far deep we get into this day. So Ken's got the block surface cleaned up. He's just putting a thin coat of high temp on there. I got the oil pan all ready to go. We're gonna just put a thin coat of high temp on that as well, and then put the gasket on there. Overkill, probably so, but we don't want any more leaks. And then we do have, this is the filler plug all cleaned up. Do have another gasket for this because it was leaking as well. Kenny's putting the bolts back in. Got the gasket on, got the thin layer of RTV on both sides. I'm sure there's people out there saying, no, that's all right. That's the way we did it. We might have caused ourselves problems with that cork gasket in the RTV. We'll see. All right, so the only thing we could find in that gasket kit that fits this plug, I pulled an old cork gasket off, but this copper one is in here. Kenny says on his Nissan or Escape that's what they have. So we're going with it that is the new style plug gasket. And as soon as Kenny tightens that down, we got the panel torqued down, and we're gonna start the rebuild. All right, everybody, here's Two Drunk Brothers engine rebuild commencing now. Look at that. That's new rear bearings, new rod bearings. Oh, new crankshaft bearings going in. Man, look at that. New camshaft, 3/4 cam too. Look at that. It's gonna be a brand new, all fully balanced and blueprinted 345 cubic inch international motor when we're done here in about 3 minutes. That's the quick way to rebuild a motor right there. Kenny's almost done with the
Craigslist rebuild.
That's right. It's a brand new motor, folks. I mean, we just added 35, 40 horsepower right there. We just like putting lipstick on pigs, folks. That's what we do. All right, so there's the 3-minute Craigslist rebuild. One of our paint cans died. I don't know.
No, that's not that one. Yeah.
Duplicolor engine. Just died halfway through. I don't think we were shaking the cans enough while using it, but that's just my philosophy. So while that's drying, we're gonna roll over, set up time lapse, and we're gonna paint the engine bay real quick.
Okay, Ray is painting the engine compartment, a little black there. Just a quick touch up, give it a little extra shine, not much.
Gonna add 15 or 20 mile an hour to the top speed. For sure.
Come back when it's done. So the guy, when he painted his truck, he kind of let overspray get all over the windows. We tried some paint thinner last time, but I just had a thought. And as you can see, there's a clean spot. But a little brake clean, a little elbow grease takes the paint right off this bad boy. With a little elbow grease, it'll come right off. We'll have our work cut out for us, but at least we know we have something we can get that off with. All right. Ray did a pretty good job on the... Looks pretty good.
Little overhauling.
Yeah.
We'll let this dry. Okay, we got that rolled back over. We did witness this was leaking out of the valley pan back there, and it looks to us just like they used high temp sealant. We do have a gasket for that. We have intake manifold gaskets that we got that they maybe got intake manifold gaskets on there, but they also put sealant around there. We're going to do the valve cover. So we're going to pull intake, valve covers, do the valley pan. So finish the 100 horsepower upgrades. We got all the bolts out of the intake. Now Kenny's gonna grab the patriotic crowbar there and see if he can break this loose without breaking anything else. That's gonna be the key.
You got all the bolts out, right?
Oh, sure. There we go. Popped right up.
Ooh, that sucker's heavy.
Well, we're not sure if we were having cooling problems because we never really ran this, but it sure does look like there was a lot of blue silicone in the water jacket. So we're going to go ahead and get this valley pan off, get everything cleaned up, get it regasketed.
Valve cover's coming off, of course.
Yeah, valve covers. We just wanted to pull that off first. Valve covers coming off, and then continue. Put back together.
And
rebuilt.
We're going to add another 200 horsepower to it.
Easy 200, maybe 202. All right, so we got the intake off. Kenny's going to clean up on those surfaces. We're going to clean those before we pull that, just so we don't get a bunch of gunk down there. Got the valve covers off. Those surfaces actually look pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and power wash the valve covers, thank you. Well, he's cleaning up the intake surfaces. All right, so we got the valley pan pulled off. They only had blue Gorilla Snot on there, no gasket. We do have a cork gasket, so we're going to put it back on. There's the block casting number, 217145R2. And we do have a little bit of buildup in there, but we're just gonna, continue the rebuild. Okay, we got the surfaces cleaned up. Kenny got the valley surfaces cleaned up. I got the valley pan cleaned up. Got the valve cover gaskets all nice and shiny. Not the gaskets, the valve covers cleaned up. He's just finishing up the intake. Just getting that last little bit of blue Gorilla Snot off of there. And we're gonna put her back together. So we figured we picked up another 2-3 horsepower by painting the valley cover. Okay, went ahead and put a little RTV down, especially in the corners there where the head gasket, where the heads meet the block. Just, once again, probably not supposed to use it with the cork gasket, but when we put the cork gasket in there, it kept sloughing off into the valley. So we're hoping that'll at least hold the gasket while we're setting the pan. We got all those bolts in. We're going to tighten it up, but look at that gap there. That's quite surprising. So we're kind of curious to see if this is going to, I'm assuming it's going to tighten that down, but it's...
Maybe that's why they had all the silicone in there.
Yeah, that's what we're wondering. Because that has not closed up the gap at all. Not one bit.
Nope. Damn it.
Look at that. That gap is...
That's an 1/8 of an inch gap, almost a 1/16 of an inch gap.
No, too bad the
I
engineers...
wonder if that pan didn't get flattened out but needs one more bolt right there.
Yeah.
We're taking that back off and putting some, a lot of silicone on that end and the other end.
Yeah, because the other end, it's not quite as pronounced up underneath the distributor, but you guys probably can't see me, but it is a gap. Kenny had some oil resistant.
Ultra black.
So we're trying to build up, and let's just hope this works. Now we know why they had all the blue silicone in there, trying to stop this leak. And now I wonder if, now we know the rear main was leaking. We've seen it. So we're sealing up a gap now. Once we get it tightened down, we'll just smooth that out a little bit. Or maybe we should just leave it built up. I don't know. Smooth it out, I think. We won't be able to smooth it out back there on the distributor, but I don't think that's going to hurt anything either. So that's what we ended up with. I went ahead and smoothed it out. Now Kenny's going to, you got to
put a bead.
We got to put a bead, but he needs to lay that down so I can just make sure.
Huh?
Just lay one up on there for me. That's what I'm asking. Just lay one up on there for me. I just want to see.
Hopefully they stay with even the silicone.
All right, we got the new exhaust intake gaskets on there. Little red underneath there to hold them in place. Bolt holes all lined up. Now we're going to lift this up in place. Okay, Kenny got the valve cover painted up. Got the valley pan in there. We got the intake in there and torqued down. And as soon as those dry a little bit, we'll get them on and then paint the rest of the top of the motor. Finish the horsepower upgrade. So Felpro's pretty smart. They put little metal tabs
on the intake gasket, and then the
slots for the valve cover gaskets.
They sit right on those little
tabs. So you don't have to dap it with a little red
or whatever
holding on there, or whatever color you got. But Kenny's going to go ahead and set those up.
Those dried already. Wow, that paint is pretty good paint.
And these are just big machine screws.
Oh, that's not totally dry. That wire's in the way. Sorry. There. Give me the big one. Yeah.
Anyhow, you guys get the idea. So Kenny's gonna go ahead and stuff a rag in here, cover up a couple bolt holes, and then he's gonna spray paint the intake manifold and rest of the front of the engine. While he's doing that, I'm gonna put the center support bar back on across here so we can put the center piece there and put the gull wing hood back on, and we'll explain what that's all about at the end of the video. Well, like Kenny said,
we got the 500 horsepower engine now.
Craigslist rebuilt, guaranteed 500 HPs. Actually, we just hope that it doesn't leak oil as bad as it was. I'm going to go out on that and say that on a limb.
Yeah.
As bad as it was.
Hopefully we stopped it, period.
Yep. And then I already got the hood bar up over here, or the center piece and the support piece here. We're not going to put the grill in there, but okay. We got the hood back on, and the grill's staying out of there. We got all the drive shaft and exhaust just put up on the back of the truck. We put everything else in the cab, radiator, grill, starter, other piece of drive shaft, etc., etc. Yeah, we're gonna pull Big Bertha out, put her back over alongside Kenny's garage over here. We'll give our thought process here soon. Well, we didn't film it, but Big Bertha's back at her resting spot. Just for a little while longer.
All right, everyone. We're finally done with part 8.
Part 8. And as you guys seen, we got
Big Bertha back outside.
Yeah, put the hood back on. The reason for that is with the clutch, pressure plate, flywheel, all that's not going to be done. And I'm getting ready to go back to work for a long time, 12 weeks. So we just
didn't want to bolt just the transmission to the engine and then had to pull it all back out again because there's
no rear motor mounts. The rear motor mount is the transmission bell housing. So we weren't going to put it all back together, just to put it in there to pull the truck outside. So engine sitting over there in the corner of the shop,
ready to go back in.
Got the 500 horsepower upgrades.
Got all the new gaskets, and
hopefully it doesn't leak. But
we'll just make sure we don't start it when it's 3 degrees outside.
Yeah, I'll be back in October and we'll have it. Hopefully the clutch and everything will be here. Kenny will have that all back assembled and on the back of the motor. And well, no, can't because it's on the engine stand.
Right.
Anyhow, we'll take care of that.
I could hook it on cherry picker and
but whatever.
We'll wait till Ray gets home
But the Big Bertha saga will continue and she will run again this year. Just not before I leave.
And there's going to be lots of Big Bertha parts because there's a lot of little work to do to that truck. There's a whole interior to do. There's windows to clean, and I found out Bright Clean cleans the paint, the overspray paint off of them. So, but there's a lot of work to do.
Yes, there is.
But that's our project truck. So
that's right. If you guys like this video, we sure would appreciate that thumbs up button,
a comment,
subscription would be great.
Hit the notification bell if you want to keep seeing our videos.
Yep.
So,
cheers, everyone.
Cheers. Cheers, brother. Ken.
Ray. Two Drunk Brothers Garage.